Okay, guys, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. As promised, this is my continuous video on penetration testing tools. This is the reconnaissance phase. Please again note that this is for educational purposes only and not to be performed on any company without consent. Um, Let's begin by number one, reconnaissance tools. This is a passive reconnaissance. So when we start doing reconnaissance, when it's passive, right? We can start by using our Google Foo or Google Dorks. Uh, this I don't have to really tell you how to use it, because if you search up Google Foo or Google Dorks, it's gonna take you to that website. Okay, so Google Foo, it's like a search engine to quickly find useful information on the internet. So there's plenty of PDF tutorials, reading materials about Google Foo. So I would advise you or recommend that you learn about it. Next one is social media. Well, Google Foo is probably, social media is part of Google Foo, like Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. There's a lot of information that people nowadays, even what they eat, where they go, what restaurants they go frequently, what places they visit, whenever they go on vacation. All those things, you can find them on the social media, which, by the way, you should not be posting whenever you go on vacation, whenever you are eating in a place at night, morning, afternoon, because if anybody wanted to know who you are and what you do, they would be able to find out easily your activities. And believe me, most of the hackers or thieves can use social media just to track down where you are and what they could be able to do. So just be careful. Don't post everything. Another one is job listings. Most companies they post jobs looking for somebody that knows this and knows that, or they might not give a clear picture of what type of technology that they use, but in a way they give away a few clues that you can use as a pen tester to find out what they're using, what technology that company is using. So job listings is part of the passive reconnaissance phase. OSINT, that's another one, open source intelligence, or OSINT. Yeah. From now on, we're going to call it OSINT, open source intelligence, so don't forget it. This is anything available on the internet. So, you name it. If you can think of it, you might be able to find it. So, that's another one, passive reconnaissance tool. Organizational charts could be available on the web. Roles that maybe a CEO or CFO does at a certain company. Their email address could be on a site like LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Their full name. I mean, things that are without knowledge have been disclosed. So that is pretty much dangerous. Also, they might have events on the web somewhere. You can even pose as a caterer in that venue and just go find out who are present. You might be able to get some names, some information, and so on. So these are things that could be passive. Uh, Also, cherry tree. It's I wanted to mention that because this is a application to organize your data. That means whatever you capture, emails, names, accounts, whatever. Cherry Tree in Kali Linux is the one to use so you can organize your data. Okay, moving on. Domain search tools. For example, the first one that I have there, Whois. Whois. It's a great site. Whois.com. You can search for domains. Let's say you have a domain in mind. I don't know, mydomain.com. Whatever. You can find out the availability, if it's free or not, or if it's taken. You can look up the IP address. You can, there's a database that can verify who is registered to. There's a lot of information that you can look for within the Whois website. So I would definitely advise you to go check it out and see what type of results you get and get to know it. The next one is Sublister. This is another tool that you can use in Kali Linux. It's a tool designed in Python and uses the OSINT in order to enumerate subdomains of websites. It helps penetration testers collecting and gathering subdomains for a domain which is their target. So in order to fetch the accurate results, Sublister uses many search engines like Google, Yahoo, etc., and even tools like Netgraph, VirusTotal. So another one that I would recommend that you take a look into. Again, I'm not showing you how to use it because there's so many tutorials, PDFs, videos that you can go and watch, that it'll be easy for you to understand it. Okay. Next one in the list is Shodan. This is a search engine for internet connected devices. So printers, cameras, IoT devices, GPS, you name it. All this information can be found in Shodan.io. Before it used to be free. Now you have to get a membership and pay a fee or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't used it in a while. But this is, I think they do. They have a charge nowadays. But look it up also. Shodan.io. Okay, next, DNS tools. All right, DNS tools. Let's see. NS lookup. Well, I guess most of us should be able or should know what NS lookup is and what NS lookup does. I don't really have to make a video tutorial on how to use it, but I can tell you that it's a command line tool to discover the IP address or DNS record of a specific domain name. It also allows you to reverse DNS lookup, letting you find the domain attached to an IP address. Alright, so guys, if you don't know it, look it up. NS lookup. Next one in line is the dig command, DIG, which also can be found in Kali Linux. One thing that I forgot to mention, maybe I did not, I don't know. Guys, if you want to be able to do penetration testing, I advise you to learn how to navigate at least within Linux, and download and install Kali Linux. Okay, because most of the tools for penetration and vulnerability testing are in this operating system. Okay, so Kali Linux, don't forget. Anyways, going back to dig, it's a command in Linux used to gather DNS information. It stands for Domain Information Grouper, and it collects data about domain name servers. Okay, so the dig command is helpful for troubleshooting DNS problems, but also used to display DNS information. So guys, again, Go look it up, how to use Linux dig commands, and you know, look it up and learn. Next, as DNS enum, another tool being used in Kali Linux. It's a multi-threaded Perl script to enumerate DNS information of a domain and to discover non-contiguous IP blocks. The main purpose of DNS enum is to gather as much information as possible about a domain. Again, the information that you would need to know how to use it, it's on the web. There's tutorials. Look it up. You know, you can use this to get the host addresses, DA records, get the name servers, get the MX record, get extra names and subdomains via Google scrapping. I'm sorry. Brute force. So perform reverse lookups. So many things you can do on this one. So I recommend you guys go look it up. Next one, Fierce. Fierce is a semi-lightweight scanner that helps locate, again, non-contiguous IP space and host names against specified domains. It's really meant as a precursor to Nmap. So if you guys know Nmap, you might be familiar with what I just said. Nessus, Nicto, etc. Since all of those require that you already know the IP space you're looking for, this does not perform exploitation and does not scan the whole internet indiscriminately. It is meant specifically to locate likely targets both inside and outside a corporate network. So guys, also again, recommend it. Take a look at Fierce and see what you can learn from it. Next, DNS Recon. Another tool from Kali Linux. DNS Recon is a Python script that provides the ability to perform the following. Check all NS records for zone transfer. Enumerate general DNS records for a given domain. DMX, DSOA, DNS, AAAA, SPF, and TXT. Perform common SRV record enumeration. Top level domain expansion. Check for wildcard resolution. Brute force subdomain and host. A and AAAA records given a domain and word list. If you don't know what that means, I would advise you to go look it up and study a bit more. Perform a PTR record lookup for a given IP range or CIDR, classless inter-domain routing. Again, that comes from Cisco if you haven't studied that. Check a DNS server cache record for AAA, and C name. Records provided a list of host records in a text file to check, enumerate hosts and subdomains using Google. So basically, guys, again, I recommend you go take a look at it and learn more about it. Next, we have combination tools. The Harvester. This is another Kali Linux tool, okay, that acts as a wrapper for a variety of search engines and is used to find email accounts, subdomain names, virtual host, open ports, banners, and employee names related to a domain from different public sources, such as search engines and PGP key servers. All right. So this is also, they have the capability of doing DNS brute force, reverse IP resolution, and top level domain expansion. So that's another tool that you can go ahead and study and find out what it does. Yeah. Next one is Reconnaissance. It's another OSINT Reconnaissance framework, and it is also written in Python. The tool itself is complete with its own modules, database, interactive help, and menu system, similar to Metasploit. If you don't know Metasploit, then I recommend you learn a bit about that also. Reconnaissance is able to perform web-based information gathering techniques using various open source platforms. So, guys, this is another part of the arsenal of tools in Kali Linux. So, I advise you or recommend that you go ahead and also learn it because it will be helpful in your career. Unless you develop something better, you know, once you learn Python or PowerShell. Mm, you know, debatable, I guess. Next one, Maltego. Wow, this is people, domain, server names, emails, etc. It's able to make a link in all those things. It's a comprehensive tool for graphical link analysis that offers real-time data mining and information gathering as well as the representation of information on a node-based graph, making patterns and multiple order connections between said information easily identifiable. So you should be able to mine data for dispersed sources, automatically merge matching information in one graph, and visually map it to explore your data landscape. So if you haven't really seen it, let's say you put an email address or you put a company name, and within that company you want to find a person and you want to find their email address if available, and you might be able to get an IP address, and you might get something from Face or Instagram. So it will make all those connections for that particular target that you're trying to find. Pretty interesting. I think they do have a community version that you can install. I'm not 100% sure. But if I was you, I would also look it up and learn it. FOCA, fingerprinting organizations with collected archives. Now, it's a tool also used in Linux, Kali Linux, and it's mainly to find metadata and hidden information in the documents it scans. So these documents may be on the web and can be downloaded and analyzed with FOCA. It is capable of analyzing a wide range of documents, with the most common being MS Office, OpenOffice, PDF files, although it also analyzes Adobe InDesign or SVG files, for instance. So these documents are searched for using three possible search engines: Google, Bing, DuckDuckGo. The sum of the results from three engines amounts to a lot of documents. It is also possible to add local files to extract the EXIF information from a graphic file, and complete analysis of the information discovered through the URL is conducted even before downloading the file. Pretty interesting tool. I mean, if most companies have left some documents somewhere on the wild, it's like it's a free for all, man. So, go ahead and look it up, FOCA. This is pretty interesting. FOCA. Moving on. Now, have I been pawned? This is a website that you can find out. I don't know if you see it. Yeah, it says "Have I been pawned?" but it's just one word, and just look it up in Google, and you can put in your email address or I don't know the company's somebody's web email address to see if they have been breached. And that's all I can say about that. And take a look at it and see what information you can find. The next one, pawned or not. Another one. This is an OSINT tool. It was written in Python. Checks the email account that has been compromised in a data breach and finds the password of the compromised account. So, pawned or not, look it up in Google and see what you can find about it. The last one, breach parser, I really didn't find any info that I could probably tell you about. I mean, I was able to find the tool and the instructions to install it, but not much else. So, anyways, guys, this is it for the reconnaissance part. Um, I will go ahead and work on the next one, on the next phase, and I will load it up as soon as I can. So thank you for viewing, and all the best. And remember, use the powers for good, not for evil. Have a good night, guys, or good evening, or good afternoon.